Okay, William, this is your project here. I'm going to give you some feedback on it. And I just woke up this morning, so my voice is a little eh. Cool building idea and cool concept of floating school. I think that's great. I'll come back to this in a minute. So global scale. Right, so this is all good, but I would show, oh, that's really cool. I would show a global map because, people don't know where Nigeria is. Sorry to say. When I say people, I mean people in the US. So, use this map for, this is really a district or regional map. It's really not a global map. So yeah, here I would, I'd hold off on. And I think, well, I'll get to that in a minute. So global scale, and this is really not global scale. This is like building scale. It's an interesting drawing again. So your problem seems to be putting things in the right scales, not finding good information. And that was, oh, right. So here, manifest meaning. Okay, this is good. Could be adjusted. So this is good, but on a global scale, what are the global drivers? Is it possible that students in Nigeria are not getting a quality education? And is it possible that due to colonialism and other historical contexts that Nigeria needs these kind of projects to help kids learn? In other words, we really try to do the global and historical context for the project. You need to set, this is the why did the project get built. And you sort of did this, but you really talked about why it's a good idea, like why building on the ocean. Like all of this stuff is really not necessary at this point for a global scale. So what is the global context? Now this is a good map. If I had the map of Nigeria earlier, I would know where this is in Nigeria. Right now I don't know enough about Nigeria to know where it is, but clearly it's on the water, which is important. And what I would talk about here is a river and eastern runs. So my question here would be, why not show how far can the school go? Like, for example, what is the distance that it can go for teaching? Because I think that's really a good use of this map. So climate, I see that the school, you might want to just talk about the fact that it's very warm, and it explains why the design of the school is open, meaning not like a closed room with heating and cooling. And I'm assuming that people can deal without that. Now, so what does it mean for the region? In other words, what is the potential impact to the region? And if that school can float for 100 miles in every direction, then you need to talk about how this can begin to transform society, which I think is the goal of this, is to educate people. And we know that when people are educated, they can take better control of their lives and of their governments, etc. And then here, maybe just pictures of the river, pictures of the region, anything to let me know what the region looks and feels like. I've never been there before, so you have to get me to feel like what it looks like, what it feels like. And I saw some pictures earlier. District scale. Now, the map that you used before, map from global, I would put here, and I would talk about the district a little bit. How big is it? How many people? Give me some statistics about the district. Remember, we're trying to get, and I'm actually thinking about changing this to the word context, and really developing the context for the project. So here you would talk about how the school might connect into the district, or as a system. Is there a dock? Is there a way for the school to connect to land? How does it do that? We're not at the building scale yet. What does the school mean for the district, for the neighborhood? think of district as neighborhood. How does the neighborhood get impacted by the school culturally, and how is the school impacted by the neighborhood? In other words, is the neighborhood builders of the school, or they just happen to have it there? What does the neighborhood feel like? What does it look like? Is it pretty? Is it great? Is it? And again, this is purely aesthetics, and not talking about culture and any kind of bias or any kind of feelings of that kind of sort. So this is good. So the site is water. This is local materials. That's good. See, so when I see local, do you mean local meaning district? Are they that local, or do you mean region? Are the materials regional? Right. So here, where you're talking about reflects the culture of the community as a whole, I would move that to the culture quadrant, right? So that is more a statement that you want to say from there. Remember, this assignment is about how you sort the information. And this is fine. That's good. It's a very cool building, by the way. So this is good. This is a systems diagram. It's really a building scale, but this really should be at building scale. The site is really the water and the dock, but that's okay. Using sustainable strategies, PV cells. So this is right. So this is good. So, the whole building serves as simple use of okay, so you're kind of repeating yourself here. Here you really want to talk about this kind of system, like how does it stay cool? So you want to talk about passive and active systems, not about the materials. Again, I might have a separate slide for materials. So now we're at the site scale. So what does it mean to be on the water? Mean to float on the water? Because the water is the site, or the dock is the site. So what is the impact on culture? What does it mean culturally to learn on water? Or really, going back, and I want to go back a little bit to region, is, what's the impact of this project on the region? It's got to be pretty amazing. And then in terms of performance, I would want to know how many kids have been educated, have learned on this boat, have learned, and how many are projected, and are there more projected? That's a performance metric. Let's see, so here, this is great. So this looks like the site, which is on the water, and you got the boats. This feels like the experience that I might have on a site scale. And site scale is really, approaching the building from the outside. The extruded space pops out of the building, creates an incredible view. Right, so that's a view out, by the way, not a view in. At site scale, we're more interested in the view towards the object. And at building scale, we're interested in the view out. But that's pretty good. So earlier, so how much energy does it use? How much money did it cost? How much dollars did it cost to build? How many students fit in this? Right? So that section with the air moving, I want to know how it works. How does the school function? How does it work? We know that that people come in there, but inside the building itself, now you could talk about the structure of the building, right? You could talk about the passive systems, the active systems. Or is there any lights or any other kind of active systems that might be found in the school? And here you might talk about how the school, the culture of learning. Now you're inside the building, right? So culture of learning. How do people, what is the layout? Is it desks in a row? Is it tables? What is the educational philosophy? Educational philosophy of the school, right? And that was where you might talk about, and then how does that impact layout of the school? In other words, are desks in a row? Are they tables? Is it progressive learning? Is it whatever? And then what does it feel like to be inside? What does it feel like to be inside? I need pictures. I need analysis. I saw the one with standing on the thing looking out, which was this one, right? What does it feel like to be standing there? Can you get a view out from there, or can you have me some views inside here, or what's it feel like in there? Looks pretty cool. And interiors. Okay, so that's good. So why do you have this under performance, right? This looks like this is an experience. So now I noticed that, for example, the whiteboards are hung very high. So from a systems perspective, it's a little odd. It makes you had to do that. And then from an equity point of view, you know, kids are forced to stand up on stools when they could, you know, if the whiteboard came all the way down here, or the blackboard, they could just stand and draw. So there's a little bit of a cultural equity. So this is really useful. So I would put this with building, and even the other one with building at this point. But this is actually really useful. Can you tell me more about it? Is it good? I mean, is this a good? This is actually pretty good, right? So you've got all your resources coming in. It's how is it processed? How's the waste dealt with? Actually, this is pretty good. This is a really good drawing, to be honest with you. I like this drawing a lot. Here we go. So this is experience for sure. And I noticed that there's no desks or anything, so I'd like to understand why that is. I see people are wearing uniforms. That could be a culture thing. Why are they wearing uniforms? There we go. So I guess this is interiors or buildings, doesn't really matter. But this is also great, really, just to give me a sense of the district. You know, what does the district feel with? Or is this typical for cities in that region of Nigeria? So that could also even go under regional. This gives me a flavor for what the context is. I understand the project better now. So you need more pictures, you need more info, and you need to put everything in the right quadrant. But overall, it's a pretty interesting project. In fact, this is really site scale, actually. You can use it as the cover sheet, and you can use it again at site scale, but it shows how the building kind of fits into its site. And I guess it moves, so all the pictures you can put in, the better. All right, thanks.